Hello, everybody. I hope all is doing well. I am Demetra K, and the purpose of the Demetra K Show is to promote Black love, knowledge, and understanding of all things that go on in the Black community to make us an even better people with the emphasis on even. Like I said, big giant, thank you, hello, and welcome to YouTube and Facebook. You are the other side of the conversation. Not only are you viewers, you are family, and you are most definitely welcome participants. I'm not going to share the link today as I am going to be by myself. I really do not plan to be on here that long because I need to go work out because I haven't gotten to it yet. But I just wanted to provide this update really quick, as some of you guys, probably most of you at this point, have already seen the update in regards to Carmelo Anthony. So I'll wait, give everybody else a couple more moments to come on here before I get into it. I'm going to show y'all a video of his lawyer speaking after the bail reduction hearing. So then we'll get into that for a couple of more moments after that. For how you doing, Sister Shirley? What's going on with you, Kareem? I hope that you are doing well. DJ Specs, how you doing? Martina, Poor Hackers, how you doing? Y'all must forgive me. I'm already sweating as it is hot here. Unfortunately, I can't always run my air conditioner when I'm recording because it's literally right above me, and you guys will hear it. It'll be like, and it may not be that bad on your end, but on my end, it's pretty bad. So it'll probably come on anyway. Text, how you doing? Hopefully. Oh, you said your main account got banned. I didn't ban you. I can see you. I don't know which account you're talking about. I can't. I didn't ban your old account or anything. You're not banned. I can see you, brother Don. How you doing? Hope you're doing well. Carrie, what's going on? Gregory X, brother Steven. Tell your wife I said hello. Diane. All right. So okay, y'all don't hear it. So if it comes on, it's great. If not, it's great too. Anyway, let's go ahead and get into it for the sake of time. And I'm sure everybody will say, what are we talking about? All right. So as you guys know, for the last, I guess, week or so at this point, we've been covering the Karmelo Anthony case. Of course, Carmelo Anthony is a 17-year-old that was arrested and charged with murder one for stabbing, if you will, Austin Metcalf, who sounds like his funeral was just recently. So up until recently, his bond was $1 million. Of course, his family has been raising money on GiveSendGo.com. If you still want to donate to that, as they're going to need all the money they can get. But they were trying to raise money for his defense and for his bail and all of that. So I think it's almost 500,000. Don't quote me, but getting close to that at this point, which is pretty good, right? As far exceeded what a lot of people thought that they would raise. But nevertheless, so today was the first hearing. Then, of course, things are heated on both sides, and I hate to say both sides racially, black, white, and I'll say black, white, and everybody else, right? Because there seems to be a whole, and there's some black people who are on the side of the poor kid that is no longer here, and that's Austin. So of course, we're not going to adjudicate any of that because we don't know the details or anything that's still to come. So in just a second, I'm going to show you all, it's about a 6-minute snippet. And I wanted to show the whole thing of his attorney talking. That way I don't misconstrue anything and you all get the full details of what was said and what he was asked. And his name is Mike Howard, by the way. He is an attorney from Dallas-Fort Worth area. Sounds like he is, about that life when it comes to defending clients, especially, I guess, high-profile clients or clients who are in a bad way, if you will. So we'll get into that still. How you doing, Priscilla? What's going on with you? Gary Mac, don't need no man. Stop telling me I do. Hope you're doing well. Texture says I'm using a new one, but the main one account has the notification for July. That's why I'm asking. Yeah, I can look and see. I didn't ban you, so I could check and see, but I can see you now if that makes any sense. Michelle, how you doing? Yes. I'm gonna show y'all that. Yeah, okay, so y'all saw it. Poor Hackers, she says, I thank God, spirits for his blessing, love, protection, favor, direction, vengeance from FBA and Jesus Christ of Nazareth. Says, mighty name, amen, amen, amen. Yes, indeed. AJ3, what's going on with you? Hope you're doing well. Tyrone, what's up? And James. All right, let's go ahead and get into it for the second time. So I'm going to show y'all a video. It is about 6 minutes long, but I think it is worthy of y'all listening to all of it for those of y'all who have not seen it, because again, you're going to hear it straight from his attorney's mouth. Y'all ready? Here we go.
Is a protection that applies to each and every one of us. There are two sides to every story, and Carmelo is a 17-year-old kid and an excellent student. He is the captain of his track team. He is the captain of his football team. And prior to this, what was on his mind was what college he was going to go to. This is a tragedy all the way around for both families. Rushing to judgment, trial by public perception and trial by media is not how we ensure justice is done. We are confident that after a full investigation, that the truth will come out. Thank you.
Mike, you took umbrage with the state's assessment that this was simple and brutal. Why so?
Well, the fact of the matter is, like I said, there's two sides to every story, and we've only heard one side. In any criminal case, the police investigate, and the defense is always far behind that. And so it is a one-sided investigation to this point, and even that investigation is still ongoing. So to say that it happened this way or that way is just not accurate at this point. All of the facts are going to come out, and that's why our system of justice requires that we keep our minds open and we let the facts come out as they are after a full investigation.
Is your client going to be able to make bond and get out today?
I anticipate that he will be able to make bond. I can't speak to how quickly that will go. Funds, in the funds that have been raised are not quick to come out. And then, there's obviously a process to the release process once bond is posted.
The big question that a lot of people have is, why was this young man armed on school property?
That's an understandable question, but it's not something that, frankly, we're prepared to even go into. This is something that I know the police and the prosecution want to get it right and want to have a full and fair investigation, and so do we. So it would be irresponsible for me or them at this point to start saying, this is what happened, this is why, anything. So I understand that's a big question. It's going to be a big question, and it's something that we will find out, and we ask that the public, as hard as it is, withhold judgment and let both of these families have justice, that let both of these young men, the Metcalf family and the memory of who they've lost, but also Carmelo, have a fair and full justice process.
How has he?
Your feeling on the reduction of this bond? You feel it's fair?
I feel it's fair. Bond, as the judge said, is not supposed to be an instrument of oppression. It's not supposed to keep people in jail. It's not supposed to punish. It's supposed to ensure that a person shows up to court, complies with all conditions, and it's supposed to keep the community safe. So this is a large and substantial bond, and the judge has, I think, rightly imposed reasonable conditions that will ensure both Carmelo and the Anthony family's safety, but also the safety of the community.
What was Carmelo's reaction today? He didn't seem very talkative toward you, and how has jail, I guess, been so far for this teenager, and does he look on suicide watch or anything like that?
I honestly can't speak to Carmelo's reaction because I was so focused on the hearing and what was going on and what the judge was saying. I think we have to all remember Carmelo is a 17-year-old kid who's never been in any sort of trouble before. If you can just put yourself in his shoes, this is a scary, bewildering process, and I can't even imagine what was going through his head, just as I'm sure I can't imagine what was going through the heads of the Metcalf family. So this is something that is new to all of them and incredibly trying.
So for people who want to know, why were you selected? I mean, what is your experience? I mean, you had to be really good.
I can't speak as to why I was selected. In any case, it's important to have an attorney that you connect with, that you feel has the right amount of experience and the right investment in the case. And I'm not speaking to anybody else. I just know that that's important in any case.
Okay. Just how unsafe does this family feel? You mentioned it multiple times.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm not going to speak for them at this point, but I think you can imagine the press coverage on this case has been immense, and the online and public reaction has been immense. And unfortunately, as is common in our culture, especially lately, the vitriol and the public reaction one way or the other has been intense. And threats and talk of race war and all kinds of insanity isn't good for, obviously, the Anthony family. It's not good for the Metcalf family. It's not good for the peace and safety of our community. So, I would ask, and I know both sides would ask, that the temperature on this be allowed to come down, that the media, you guys have a job to do, and I understand that, everyone does, but at the same time, we just ask everyone in the public and everywhere to let this process play out fairly and fully for both sides. Okay, thank you guys.
All right, so let's remove Mike Howard. That is his attorney's name, so I'm gonna remove him. Okay, so y'all basically heard all that he said, so I want to give y'all some other information that took place. So I guess, of course, originally the bond was $1 million, and Mike Howard, the lead attorney there, they went to ask for it to be reduced. Now, originally they were asking for it to be reduced to $150,000, but the judge did say we're going to reduce it to $250,000. So there, you saw the attorney speaking to, yeah, okay, so that was fair, right? Now, of course, while they were in court, the prosecution argued that his family had raised enough money already. So why haven't they already bonded him out, right? Because the bail was $1 million, 10% of that is $100,000. So they're saying, well, they've raised that much by now. What took them so long? Almost kind of stoking the conversation online that, oh, they must be raising money to go buy some Gucci bags, the silliness or whatever. But his attorney also was saying, well, there's security issues. There's the paying for defense and the bond. So there's a lot of things because the family needs security now because people are threatening to, take them out of here and all that other stuff. And so the prosecution was talking about how the community is very hurt by what happened to Austin Metcalf, and I'd imagine they would be. So kind of like as I was reading that part from the prosecution, I'm like, okay, it sounds like they're trying to continue to dangle the red meat into, in front of the community to basically say, listen, our white supremacy and everybody that's mad, we hear you, okay? We understand that you're hurt. But my thing is this about the community or is it about Carmelo and Austin? And who was right? Who was wrong? Was it self-defense or was it Capital One? Why were they bringing the community and how they feel into it, right? So, I thought that was pretty weird. They also brought up that Carmelo had been into an altercation, I think it was last year or the year before at school, that did not involve the police at all. But the prosecution, you know how they do, especially when it comes to Black people, they want to go digging in the crates and find something. Mind you, they talked about an altercation. I don't know if it was physical or whatever it was at school a couple of years back, right? That did not involve the police. That was their only smoking weapon, if you will, with Carmelo. So I guess they were trying to argue that and like, well, he may be a risk. So basically, the prosecution didn't want the bail reduced. And all of that, again, it was reduced. Let's see what else. So basically, they were trying to tarnish his squeaky clean image up until April 2nd, the unfortunate incident. Now, his lawyer did argue that he is not a flight risk, that he has significant ties to the community as his whole family lives there in Frisco, and they've been there for, a while, so he's not going anywhere. Now, he will have to remain on house arrest. He'll have to speak to the bailiff every Friday, and he cannot use social media. Now, he cannot leave, obviously, until the family has posted bond. So $250,000, 10% of that is $25,000. So I guess when they, go with that, sounds like maybe it'll be soon or whatever, then he can leave. And as his attorney said, the judge was like, well, bond does not necessarily keep people in there. It's, to give them an opportunity to bond out and, a whole host of other things, keep other people safe and all of that. So we are glad, obviously, that his bail has been reduced. I have some other theories. I won't get into it because I don't want to, put stuff out there. I'm not privy to any of the information of the case at all. But also with that clip I just showed you, the lady, was asking, oh, well, how has he been acting toward being in jail? And was he on suicide watch? And, all that other stuff. It's like, what are you saying, lady? Why are you asking that? Why would you put that out there? Is he, it was like, oh no, he's having a great time in there and he doesn't want to leave. It's like, lady, how you think he feels? You know what I mean? Just asking, acting stupid. And they talk about, well, why would he bring a weapon to school? And it's like, first of all, like his lawyer said, we really shouldn't be talking about that. And neither should the other side. And as he said too, this has been one-sided. So he also said that unfortunately, in any case, the defense is always behind because the police have investigated. Obviously, from that investigation, they have taken things to the DA, and the DA has made a decision, and they've seen the stuff first. So he's basically like, the defense is catching up, trying to figure out what's going on and what do we need to do and all of that. So I want to see what you guys think about that, his bond being reduced, as we hope that it would be, and all of that. So I'm going to be on here for another about 20 minutes. So let me get to the comment section and see what y'all talking about. And thank you for bearing with me there. I wanted y'all to see the whole thing. All right. So who else has come on here? Quite a few of you all. Okay. JJ, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Pamela, what's going on with you? Long time no see. Maureen, Daryl. All right. So let me start from here. JJ, he says the Black Authority did a good analysis on how worthless the FBA legal community is to our issues. You ain't lying. They ain't really been good since Johnny Cochran. If it don't fit, you must have quit. You know what I mean? They don't make them like that no more. I agree with the Black Authority. Where are they at? Where are they at? And why can't we use somebody that's effective to defend us? You know what I mean? And listen, I'm going to keep it real with y'all. If I'm in a pickle and I need a good lawyer, if the good lawyer is black, great. If the good lawyer is white, that's great too. I need to be on the other side of what I'm against. You know what I mean? So, Macman, how you doing? Said they assaulted K-Man for no good reason. Okay. Text says just use it to type a message, still not working. So you talking about your other account. Yeah, I don't even know. I'm not technically savvy. Michelle, he says YouTube likes to show only the top comments. If you click on the lines in the upper right corner of the chat, click on all messages. Okay, so you're talking to somebody else. Okay. DJ Specs says, sad he doesn't have a black attorney. We have no more Johnny Cochrans. I should have read your comment because you're absolutely right. Daryl says, when fighting white supremacy, you need a Thurgood Marshall, a Johnny Cochran type. If you not, you need a white lawyer to join your legal team. And to be fair, with the dream team with OJ, they had white lawyers, all kind of people. What he had, like 5-6 lawyers. He had the best of the best. He had Kim Kardashian's daddy, Rob Kardashian, had F. Lee Bailey, of course, Johnny Cochran. So they had what they call the dream team of defense attorneys, right? And it paid off. Shaniqua, how you doing? Dear self, did I say hello to you? If not, hello. Carrie says, we have heard 2 lies by one person. Okay. Macman says 66,000 black attorneys. They all chasing ambulances. Yeah. We need somebody to say, okay, here, use me. I got you. You know what I mean? Like that bulldog. When you go to court, you want a bulldog, to represent you, somebody who is about that life, right? Not know, let's see. Oh, I think they're innocent. You want somebody to be like, nah, if it don't fit, you must have quit. Let's see. Crack myself up. Dear Self says, I have a feeling they're going to try to make him take a plea when he's innocent. Anything with race, I don't trust those people with freedom or life. Well, the other part of me, just really speculating, says, maybe they know that they kind of got a weak case. You charging him with murder one, that's a really high standard. Really high. You know what I mean? So maybe they kind of already know. Remains to be seen. Still, you say BS. Martina says that's why the white people want to punish him before conviction. Yeah, like they used to do to our ancestors back in the day that was completely, totally innocent. And they dragged them up out of them jails and string them up and say, never mind the court hearing or the justice system. We got it. And they get away with it. So that's that. Listen, They are the grandchildren of those people. They ain't gone nowhere. They still think like that. If they were to say, okay, the sheriff is going to go, I don't know, he's going to go to lunch break, he's going to leave the jail unattended, you know, there's no doubt in my mind they would go in there and try to do what they want to do. Not just to Carmelo, but anybody they, you know, feel like got away with something, especially when it comes to one of them. So, you know, Kerry says he is no threat to the community. Yes, that has been proven. Michelle says, oh, yes, they do, but I have been going in on their in-house, he says, who are ready to crucify Carmelo without hearing all of the info. Yeah, stop arguing with them people. They not really worth arguing with. Poor hackers. It says treat people like you want to be treated. Treat people like you want them to be treated, not to do so. It is a psychopathic sociopath. What are you in your own people? Okay. Yes, MacMan. I saw that all the people that got low bonds, Zimmerman, Darren Wilson. Yes. Jason Van Dyke. That's another one. Derek Chauvin. Absolutely. Daniel Penny. Yep. Absolutely. Great examples. All right, let me skip down. Goddess Joseph, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Let's see. Biz, how you doing? Says a victory lap for Anthony family. $1 million bail was clear illegal lynching. Says, but since when did the legality matter? Yeah, they know dang on well $1 million. Huh? But again, as the prosecution said, well, the community. So he trying to speak on behalf of the community. I know y'all mad. I know y'all want blood, and I'm going to try to fight for y'all to get at least to sniff the blood. You know what I mean? Hey, Thunder, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Texture says, I have to leave until this is sorted out, or somehow I can't keep going, switching between two accounts. Have a good discussion, everyone. Peace to meet you. Yeah, I'm sorry. I honestly don't know what is going on with your account, so you must forgive me. I do not have any inside knowledge to that. JJ says, where are the Black Greeks? They always boast about how great they are for the Black community. Yeah, they seem like they've been pretty silent, you know? Brother Abdul, how you doing? It says, any Black person that defend themselves against these racist people in America, trust me, you're not a threat to the community, and don't let these racist people make you feel that way in America. Absolutely. All right, so let's see. Tim, how you doing? It says, yeah. Where is that ambulance chaser Ben Crump? So y'all got to remember, Ben Crump is a civil rights attorney where he goes after the money, not a defense attorney. That's not his job to be in the court defending. From what I understand, his job is to get punitive damages as a civil rights attorney. So Lance, how you doing? Says still no cell phone video footage from the incident. Yeah, they might have confiscated it and asked people not to share it. And you will want that. You want the people involved to be able to sort it out without it being played on social media. Because look at the climate now on social media. Imagine if the video footage got out and, you know, how much worse it would be. And y'all heard him saying people talking about having a race war. It's like, huh? A race war? You mean outside of the other ones y'all already been having against Black people? You know what I mean? How much worse do you want it to get? You know? So I don't know. Jareed, how you doing? He says, Jewish lawyer already cooking. I don't know what he is, but yeah, he seemed like he got that dog in him, right? And that's what you want. Daryl says the Black lawyer class is sadly done. Living in a town that Carmelo does with a white and Asian majority, you need a white lawyer. Well, you know, I'm hoping not just because he's white, but because he's the best man for the job, you know. Ooh, Michelle. Troy, how you doing? Let's see. Thank you so much, Biz. I appreciate that. Faye, how you doing? Says, how come our athletes don't donate even if they did it unanimously? From what somebody told me, I don't know how true it is, but Shannon Sharp and Chad Ochocinco said that they were going to directly give to the family. So it sounds like they were involved. I guess they didn't want to be involved with the give, send, go, and them folks trying to get rid of it and all that. So they said they were going to directly donate to the family. So there might be a lot of people just doing that. So we would hope, right? Tim says, yo, where is Mr. Blackety Black Al Sharpton, and has Roly Poly covered this yet? I don't know if Roland has. I was actually listening to Al Sharpton yesterday, and he didn't know anything about it from what he was saying. There's quite a few people called up and was telling him about it. He says, I'm going to look into it. I had not heard about it. He says it has not come across my desk. He says now if the family, of course, asks us to get involved, then we will. But that could be it too. Maybe the family hasn't asked them to get involved. So, but he said he didn't hear about it as of yesterday. So maybe things have changed. I don't know. Martina, it says that that's why it needs to be held in another county. Yeah, but the prosecution is like, well, our people should be able to decide on this case. Is like, really? You think? Of course you want them to. Jay McClinton, how you doing? Long time no see. Hope you're doing well. All right. Brenda, what's going on with you? Says, I don't like the chains around his ankle. This is slavery for a 17-year-old. Nah, this B of AJ Black need a white people. Is that what you're saying? Need a criminal lawyer, nor a black one. We don't have a real black lawyer. Yes. He was brought in the shackles and all that, which is probably standard, which it seems like in some courtrooms that it is, that inmates are brought in that way. But yeah, I'd imagine it's very disheartening to see, but he will be home hopefully shortly, if not already, right? So that's a good thing. Mac Minute says, Rottenhouse, damn. It says, carried a firearm across state lines and killed, no jail time. Yes, mama took him. Thunder says, question, is it possible that they lowered the bail and brought up the legal fund in hopes that they will deplete their funds and struggle to pay for a lawyer? Yeah, I think they're trying to play into a lot of people saying, oh, they're raising the money as a hustle and this, that, and the other. But I'm not an attorney, but if I'm thinking strategy, well, yeah, let's wait till the next hearing and see if we can get it lowered. Because if we could get it lower, let's do that. And then we can pay less of a bond, right? Why would you pay them the $100,000 on $1 million bond and you didn't even ask for a reduction yet? That's just strategy, right? And the prosecution knows that, but they think they're slick, in my opinion. They're throwing out those little dog whistles. Yeah, well, why didn't they just, because that's what people are saying. Why didn't they pay it already? Well, if I have a chance to go and get a reduction, that's what I'm going to do. So we can keep some of that money for other stuff. It's just smart, but my mom used to always say, common sense ain't so common. Tenderoni, how you doing? Says Austin was involved in an altercation sometime before too. And all that's probably gonna come out, but the prosecution got to go digging in the crates and try to find something, especially on black people. Shanico says, Dimitri, do you think he had a good attorney from what you've been seeing and observing? I think the attorneys that he had before did the best that they could up until that point. But somewhere, somehow, I don't know if it was the family or maybe those attorneys or somebody else is like, yeah, we're going to need a bulldog. We need somebody who can navigate this system. And, as my younger brother always says, make sure that you're able to speak at their level or above in any situation, right? I don't care who it is. So maybe that's the conclusion it came to. We need somebody who can really get in there and, go toe to toe. But he looks like he's pretty solid. So far, he got the bail reduced, which is, the first step of many. So, hey, Tracy, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Carrie says, we need more donations, family. Absolutely. Give, send, go. GiveSendGo.com. Dear Self says, family, we need to stop forcing our families to reside and be educated with these people. When I saw an older video of Carmelo, it says Carmelo taking up for a white schoolmate and being approached by white men. Yeah, I haven't seen that. But yeah, it's sad. Hey, Brother Jonell, hope you're doing well. Okay, so Jay M, he says so up to 416,000 now. Okay, so I know they're trying to get 500 now, and that's typical to try to keep raising it so they can keep reaching the benchmarks so they can do as much as they can. But that's good. All right, let me skip down. Gregory, you says, Dimitri, I haven't heard anything about the toxicology report on Austin. Yeah, because they've done it with George Floyd and Jordan Neely and everybody, right? I think they even did it with Trayvon Martin. They put out these toxicology reports. Oh, I think they have some weed in their system or something like that. So they try to dirty up the victim right out the gate. But like you said, where's a toxicology report on Austin, who in a sense is the victim? They're keeping all this on the wraps, and in a way, I guess they probably should, but they just don't do that with us. Let's see. C Pinta, how you doing? Says, I hope they have good security. Yeah, sounds like they got to spend some money on security. And it's sad, but they do. Abdul says, I remember one time I brought a meat cleaver to school. It was real sharp too. A whole meat cleaver? Damn. Metatron, how you doing? Says, I'm happy they chose a white lawyer. Laugh out loud, you crazy. Thunder says, we need to keep donating to his legal fund. Absolutely. GiveSendGo.com. Give, Send, Go, multifaceted me. How you doing? It says, Thank God for the reduction of his bail. Yes, indeed. Pamela says absolutely, and this is a child, but of course, this doesn't matter to the racist, ignorant folks. No, they don't care. They didn't care back then when they were stringing our children up, and our women. They didn't care. All they saw was, and not my opinion, but in their opinion, a black piece of trash that means nothing, So you're right. Bama, how you doing? Says we gotta get them charges dropped now. Yeah, I guess that's the next phase, right? Get them home and then try to get the charges dropped or reduced or something. Because Capital One it's that's the highest you could go. Hey Roz, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Let's see who else is on here. Smooth T Mac, how you doing? Says Demetri, thank you for all you're doing and keeping us informed. It is my pleasure. I'm really drawn to this case. I'm drawn to a lot of cases, but this one I'm really drawn to because I see what's going on, and we need to be informed. And again, as I said, I'm not here to adjudicate nothing, try to spew any facts, because I don't know anything. I wasn't there. I'm not privy to his legal defense, or I'm not privy to any of it. I'm just stating what we know so far. So, no, trying my best not to do any speculation. Yes, Shapiro. Yes, Michelle. He is still living. He's got to be pretty up there by now, right? Dear Self says, Demetri, the nation has many competent lawyers. The family needs to reach out to the minister or someone that caliber. He needs someone who looks like him and not looking for white favors. Well, in any case, you want somebody who's going to get the job done, regardless of who they are, what color they are. And yes, the nation has a lot of competent lawyers, but for whatever reason, his family is going with them. But, I don't know. I want the best person for the job, and in a sense. And I get that, guess on a financial level, the money, I guess, should be going to black people. But if I'm going to have brain surgery, I'm not going to say I need a black brain surgeon unless that black brain surgeon is the most qualified. Just like I'm not going to say I need a white brain surgeon unless that brain surgeon is the most qualified. I want the most qualified. I don't care if you're coming from Mars. If you're the most qualified, you can do it. So, Jamarcus, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Mad Marks, how you doing? AJ3 says OJ was the last one to beat the white supremacy. After him, they want to make sure it never happens again. You ain't lying. 540, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Jerron, what's going on? She says, I told you this case is very similar to the Maurice Byrd case. Okay, and again, I got to look that up, so forgive me. Diane says, a lot of our own people have found him guilty too. Yeah, because they... Massa, we sick? That's what they suffer from. As Malcolm X said, the slave master, when a master gets sick, the slave says, Master, we sick? Said the slave in the field be like, shoot, I hope he. So yeah, you got those. Is we sick? I ain't sneezing, But yeah. Brenda says, we need to form another team. Let's get these young black lawyers with the old school teaching them like Dr. Claude Anderson, just one team. Yeah, I agree. We need a good black legal defense. But, till we get that, we got to get the best one. Hey, Facts Not Feelings, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Says peace and love. It's shocking how there are zero high-profile black attorneys that will stand up and say, I got this. Nah, what's her face? Jasmine Crockett. She's in that area. She's a lawyer, but she run around defending migrants, talking about they should, I guess, be picking cotton. I don't know. Brenda Starr, how you doing? Tyrone says they are in court talking about an altercation that had nothing to do with the situation. But when we do it, we're emotional. Yep, they showed this altercation that they said didn't even had the police being called. So yeah, they just digging. Yeah, Michelle says, where's BLM? He said, and the Divine Nine hypocrites. They're around here somewhere. Biz says the media is bad at poisoning the jury pool. They need laws against this. Yeah, they do. I agree with you. And a lot of the articles that was written up. And hey, Aaron, how you doing? Not the laws, but the stories that are written up are very biased. And as his attorney said, it's really been one-sided, up until now. So yeah. Carrie says if the video would prove that Carmelo was a murderer, they would have released it by now. I agree with you. Hey, Cynthia, how you doing? Says, I and other parents just did a rally here in Michigan speaking on our black men's being unfairly charged. Says, incarcerated and overly sentenced. Yeah, we really got to get a hold of that because they locking our people up and our young men, our young women too, forever. I'm not saying if they do something really bad, they shouldn't be, but low-level offenses, you're giving people you know, 20, 30 years, and it's self-defense cases, people getting 70 years. It's like, come on now. Absolutely. Let's see. Timothy says, I'm not sure switching to a white lead attorney is a good idea. Johnny Cochran knew O.J. Simpson would have had no chance if he didn't demand a majority black jury. Yeah, well, of course, you want to get a jury of your peers, whatever that peer group is, whether it's a race, football players, I don't know, track runners, I don't know. You want to get a jury of your peers, which is why it's also important for us to show up. Now, of course, the prosecution, their job is to weed out people that would be favorable to Carmelo, and the defense's job is to find people who are favorable to their client, right? So they're both playing a game as let's try to get the best jury for us, whatever side that is. So, yeah. All right, Pamela says, well, if the roles are reversed, they would have shown it. He says, let's be real. Them being the ones morally is not exactly their thing. Okay, JJ, how you doing? Let's see who else is on here. Pink Blue, how you doing? He says NAACP is worthless. Totally agree with you. Facts Not Feeling says America is saying by putting millions of dollar bill is essentially going to war with 40 million blacks while trying to go to war with 1.3 Chinese, over 100 million Iranian, he said 243 million Russian. You put all those numbers in there, and I'm like, but okay. Tanya, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Let's see. Sherry Price, how you doing? So I don't understand people like Miss Crocodile or so-called black leaders that's in Congress that's representing Texas that's fighting so hard for a legal criminal to come back to America, even though he got deported to a prison that's in his own country. We never see them until they need us. But I bet if he was illegal, she would probably be fighting for him. So you're talking about Carmelo if he was illegal. Yeah, I know what you're talking about, the case with the guy who was erroneously deported and put into Surcot, is that what it's called? In El Salvador, which is considered to be one of the worst prisons in the world. Yes. All right, let's see who's on here. And I see all comments, but let me see. FBA, how you doing? Salute to you as well. Pamela says, didn't that toxicology report already come out? I heard it was fake, so I don't know. Tanya says, I hope his family has him somewhere other than the house that they are receiving death threats. Yeah, it sounds like now they got security because of the threats. So, yeah. Cynthia says, we just want fairness for this young man. Yeah, and that's what his attorney said. Let's be fair, right? Jerron says, it's good they can't find nothing to use against him while desperately searching for things to make him look bad. Yeah, somebody at the school was like, he was in an altercation about a year or so ago, and it's like, was it a fight? Was it an argument? Like what? Because an altercation can be either one, right? So y'all just putting that out there, just to try to, put some dust on them. Ryan, how you doing? Says there is no NAACP for us anymore. If they ever were, we don't have any civil rights attorneys because we're not pushing our children to become lawyers. Yeah, we need some good lawyers, right? Absolutely, totally agree. Sky Dancer, how you doing? JM, he says, I'm agreeing that it would be great if the fund went to 5 million. Absolutely. He's going to need all the help he could get. Brother Jones says, we got to understand, comprehend this is our black child. We got to see ourselves as the family God created us to be. This white nation know how to be on code as a nation of bias. We must recognize and protect our own, especially when we're in the right. As the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan teaches, he says, defend your people. Never take the side of your oppressor against your people. Come on now. But that's that. We sick, massa. We sick. HDLC, how you doing? Says Carmelo must be squeaky clean because if he had even an overdue library book, we would know. Come on now. Street Nasty, how you doing? It says Jason Black, the Black Authority, kept it really real about the black legal class last night. Yes, what I heard. I didn't watch it, but I heard. And guess he was saying that they ain't no good, and they're not. We should have them on deck, ready to go, like the dream team, and all of that. But where they at? Tammy says, yeah, where's that defiant lawyer guy? He's supposed to be a high-powered civil rights attorney. Says, what the F he at? Oh, my bad. He says he thinks that Carmelo is guilty already. Yeah, he just... And I never did find that video y'all said he was talking about me. I never did find it, but I'm sure it wasn't worth listening to. Yeah, he's a big Democrat shield. He a massa we sick. That's who he is. FM, how you doing? Says Rittenhouse, I wish I had a week before he deleted someone was thrown out, but they mentioned Anthony's previous non-police incident. They sure did. Talking about he was in a fight or an altercation is what they said. Jerron says Maurice Bird is a black barber who was being assaulted by the white attacker and charged with murder despite evidence showing he stood his ground. Okay, I keep saying I'm going to look that up. Maurice Bird. Got you. Biz says bunch of getting along, going on with our black attorneys. Yep. Jollof Chief, how you doing? He says, as a first generation American, black politicians are not for black Americans, and they're not. And they're not. Eddie, how you doing? Says Jeffrey Metcalf and the twins seemed to not be able to keep their hands to themselves. Allegedly, their father, yeah, I saw that. People dug up in his background a couple of days ago and found something very disturbing. So, yeah, I saw that. You also say, look at the Democrat Party. Those are our black lawyers. They ain't ours. They might be theirs over there, but they're not ours. Martina says it's crazy that they are mad about our money. Yeah, they big mad. You know, they don't want us to help our own, but they don't have a problem with helping their own. But as I said, they need to mind their business. Mind your business. We're not asking for your opinion. We don't care about what you say. Not today, not tomorrow, not ever. You know, mind your business. And that's what we just need to get comfortable with saying. It's not your business. It's not mind your business. We don't answer to you. You know, and again, as I said, that's kind of why old boy got in trouble, old boy being Austin, because, you know, he thought he was under the impression he could subjugate Carmelo by telling him to get up what you're doing over here. Now, you cannot subjugate us. It may not work out for you, unfortunately, you know, so yeah. Sharon, he says, how you doing? He says, we have black lawyers. They work for white corporations. JJ Mars says TD Jakes with his big money could easily donate to his defense and do it secretly. And maybe he has, you know, maybe we don't know because that's in his area, right? So you're absolutely right. Tanya says, I pray the witness on behalf of Carmelo come forward. I'm sure that they have already. Street Nasty says, if I was 29 versus 49, I will go to law school right now. Well, you know, there's some people who go, you know, older than that. It's never too late, right? Pamela says, well, who says it was fake? Meanwhile, all the toxicology report of black people was real. So until further notice is real. Yeah, you know, I get what you're saying. I just don't have any inside knowledge as to what's real, what's fake, or anything like that. So I'm just saying, for me personally, I don't want to further any narratives that may not be true. So if it's real, then yeah, I guess. I got you. Magnetter, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Eddie says, I was being sarcastic with that. Hakeem Jeffries and a lot of CBC. He says, were our lawyers, love your content. Well, thank you. No, I knew you were being facetious. Michelle, it says, steroids make them folks liars, angry, and very aggressive, allegedly. Got you. Tanya says, Trump got these white folks out here thinking they could treat us like 1960s again. Well, yeah, and they was already thinking that before Trump, you know, after Trump, during Trump, they already thinking that, you know, but unfortunately, you know, sometimes they got to learn the hard way. You can't be putting your hands on us. You know what I mean? They wouldn't even let you do that to their dogs. They wouldn't let you go and put your hands on their dogs. You draw back a nub if you went aggressively touching their dog, but yet they want to do it to you, you know? Shan, how you doing? Says, hello, Demetra. How was your birthday? It was great and uneventful. Not just was average, and you know, another year, and I'm grateful. So what he says, what they need to do is set Carmelo free because he did not do anything wrong but defend himself. So they did reduce the bond. So hopefully he'll be out today. You know, once they give I guess $25,000 is what they're looking for. Tyrone says, I wish we did group funding more often for black issues like black farmers, etc. I wish we did too. But you know, the unfortunate part about us is we always want to be arguing over silly stuff. Or who says you get to be in charge and what, you know, what you doing with that money? And we just need to, you know, let go of that mentality. And I believe we'll be doing better off. Thank you, Eddie. I appreciate you. Biz, you says Trump is like money to them. It just exposes what they already are. Yep. JM, he says, them folks has a mentality that they can police us. Absolutely. So you know what? I'm at the bottom of the comments. I said I wasn't going to be here that long because I do need to still go work out before I lose my energy. Thank you, JM McClintock. McClinton, I appreciate you. So I'm going to get out of here. I'll be back here with Donovan tomorrow. We're also going to do a podcast, so y'all stay tuned to that. Pamela says there was a time when black men represented themselves and other black people until the wicked system says you have to go to school. Oh, absolutely. You know, so we should train up some good lawyers so they'll be ready to swing in action. Brother Jonell says this is why independent funded black law groups need to be formed nationwide to fight cases like this. and also why we're highly distracted from organizing. We need independent nursing groups, doctors, etc., on all levels for various situations that we are under as people. They don't care about us. Well said, and that's a perfect comment to leave out of here. So anyway, I love and appreciate every last one of y'all. I will see you guys tomorrow. In the meantime, you guys have a great rest of your day. Peace.